Thank you. Thank you very much, Philip. Thank you, Winding. Thank you, Jayan, and your team, you, and of course, Patrik. I'm here because of him, yeah. Because he is, we can say, last architect, at the end of architecture. Well, there is no picture here, and unfortunately, I don't like this. But anyway, this is something between English and Chinese. I'm not here to sell you something which you already knew, but try with you to help me to understand how these words function in Chinese. This is my task. Well, why I'm here? Because which kind of legitimation, except I'm friend of Patrik, is this. I'm editor with Snežana Vesnić of this journal. This is the copy end where Patrik wrote the text about end of architecture. And this is now for Philip. Secondly, we published in the same library the book, the PhD, Patrik's PhD, because you know, it's how to say, you will see this is ideal architect or the ideal philosopher, and that's why I'm trying to understand him and trying to understand architecture and this end between architecture and philosophy. That's why I'm here. And we published his PhD, who was published in German, and I hope you will enjoy, you will understand, first of all, Patrik's engagement in architecture. And I will explain what does it mean for me, ideal architect, and ideal philo-architect or archi-philosopher, we can say like this. I'm in Tsinghua University fellow 1 month. I'm working on victory project. What does it mean, victory, win, how to understand Trump, etc. And I propose that the opposition to be in front of this. If I'm happy to follow your president here. This is projective mind could be opposite to victorious mind, and well, that's why I'm working on project. I'm repeating what does it mean project. I think that architectural project and project as such is the same thing, and well, I will talk here first of all on this. Second, you know, you see that this is the names. I don't care for the names. I like acts. You know, what is behind of these acts? That means I like verbs. I think the acts, verbs are more important than names. Names are complicated and totally problematic. Well, if we can see something behind, and I'd like to propose you, and you will see probably, because I have here Chinese, you will see your behind of your concepts, notions. Well, then I'm all the time, you know, I'm in negotiations in discrete negotiations with Patrik. We are not the same on the same area, but I hope we can try to understand each other today. For example, autonomy. I don't know. I'm not for autonomy of architecture, but I think that one of the functions of architect is to produce terminology. Okay, let's see. Probably doing in next 3 hours what we have about this. Then, it's important for me difference between philosophy and theory, because this is philosophy, not theory. I think that theory is, how to say, opium for architects. philosophy has capability to invent something. In innovation, this is also President word, very important. Innovation or new, we can connect easily with philosophy, but I'm not sure with theory. In AI, in robot, we have theory in him or in her, in it, but we have not still, or we have not yet maybe, this capability for the new. I think that that's why philosophy. I'm not sure that this is good explanation, but well, I'm trying. Then, okay, I said autonomy. I will say more about this. Epistemology. I think that the architectural field of architecture produces some kind of knowledge. That means I hope that exists some kind of architectural act. That it means projective act is eminently architectural. And what does it mean, epistemology of architecture? Well, that could be also one important question. And yes, this is the end of architecture, but let's understand the one architect, I think ideal architect who remains. Well, how we can understand this end? You know, we have so many end in philosophy. We have Adorno mentioned end, but Christian Wolff in 18th century, he mentioned also the end of philosophy. It means end is practically something new, some new beginning or different beginning of something other. Well, here, first, I don't know how to situate. We had a problem in a journal. Well, you see this. This is, we accepted this and two fields and the importance of this and not philosophy of architecture, because, for example, when I'm teaching this and I'm analyzing the text of architects and philosophers. I don't care for picture. I don't know nothing about architecture, but I think that I'm the best one about this end, and I'm trying to understand architecture. Well, and to push them to understand themselves. Okay, it's impossible to push Patrik, because Patrik is the best to understand, to thematize his work and works of the others. Well, but we have these possibilities, and you see. Second, why I'm here? I'm here. First of all, I think that it's necessary to find philosopher in architect. Why? Because I think that he or she must thematize work. It works, and this is the first, and to understand, to learn how to work with the others. Well, I think is for me it's very easy with Patrik, with Peter Eisenman, Kohlhaas, but there are some architects who don't care to produce a thinker. Second, this is probably a problem with me and Patrik. I think that this is the mission architect to produce some kind of terminology, or eminently architectural language or terminology. Well, I think that conject, project, and concept are totally architectural terms. Okay, you can say no. Concept is a philosophical term. I think if we transform concept in the acts, what we have behind the concept, we will say that this is totally architectural. How to say? Architectural protocol. Let's say like this. And finally, autonomy, terminology, and then autonomy. Okay, then. you see, you can read. Well, conjunction is important. That's why conjunction. Conjunction, not disjunction. For me, it's important, this junction and the origin of this junction. I try to see how it functions in Chinese. It's different, and that's why this is here. It will be your job to understand how these three words function in your language. Because we are here, you know, we are trying to, well, you see this. At the beginning, we have only two geometrical protocols or strategy in our life. This is conceptio or begreifen, greifen, that means to catch something, to take something in, to eat something. This is one, you know, take a look, kid, baby. You see this is, the first idea is to take something from the world. We have a physical world, and we have this operation, this mechanism to take something in, to put something in ourselves. This is conceptio. Concipere. The same in generally in all Latin or Slav or Indo-German, Indo-European languages, the same strategy. And we have on the other side, second strategy is this, iacere. This to throw away, to put something outside, to, you know, this is in, out, that's it. And all the magic of our life is this tension between in and out. Where is the problem? Because the most important philosophical concepts or most important philosophical strategy is always with this, iacere, with this iectum, objectum, adjectum. There are so many words like this. That means we put something outside of us and try to be in front of it. That means we are in process of antagonism all the time. That's why subjectum and objectum. Project is different story, because when we put something outside, we don't know what is the goal. We don't have strictly object in front of us. In project, there is no antagonism, and this is probably thesis today. We go together somewhere because project is social, concept is individual. Concept is always individual. That means when you say my concept of this pen, immediately started to be social. But generally concepts are not transparent. Well, projective mind, you see, what does it mean? Projective mind means to contrary to victorious mind. Projective mind means to produce something with the others. That's why project is social. To open future, because project opens the future, and to move forward together. Well, this is three ideas: Begriff, notion, conception. In German, we have not second word. We have only Begriff. And now, before, it's difficult to translate notion and concept, because in Roman languages you have notion and concept differently. But now in German you have Begriff and concept. Begriff functions as a notion. Christian Wolff, okay, this is in this book you have definition of concept. Why I'm doing this? Because this is principal architectural words in concept and project. After we have platform, plan, etc., diagram, monogram, etc. For example, I didn't know that Kant, I knew several months ago that Kant used the word monogram, not diagram. And it's very interesting, you know, monogram, how he found monogram and not diagram. Well, Here, Christian Wolff, what does it mean concept for him? You see here, Corbusier, he was 21. He said, my concept. In 21, this is the letter to his mentor. He mentioned 3 times the concept. I have my concept. He said 2 times ma conception, my conception. But he first invented the word mon concept, my concept. And this is very familiar to architects, my concept. Well, Deleuze, la philosophie comme l'art de former, d'inventer, de fabriquer des concepts. Ça veut dire, the goal of philosophy is to produce the concept. This is only, well, okay. What we have in Christian Wolff, he said, we have a physical object, for example, sun, and the representation of the sun, representation of the sun in my Gedanke, he said, this is in my mind, is Begriff, is concept. And immediately, because he was very clever, he said it's very easy with sun, with physical object, but he said marriage. How to have representation of marriage in ourselves. That means the principal game is here in ourselves, the game between different concepts and the game to produce your position. Well, here we can see the maestro to produce the position. I think why? Because Corbusier, you have to produce, if you have not your position, I don't know why you are here. This is the same I found in Schelling. Schelling was very young. He said, which philosopher has no system and 21, there's nothing. Well, that means you have to produce your position, and that's why you need this philosophical push, let's say like this. Well, now project, this word, if you say iacere, it means to lie, that I lie. Not lie, but probably lie, not lie. Not lying, but laying, you know. And the other one is iacere, to throw away, to throw forward. Well, completely different conception, protocol, stupid word, conception. What does it mean, conceptio? Conceptio means Mary. I hope you heard Mary and Jesus Christ, this story. Mary is in conceptio. Conceptio is pregnancy. Gestatio. Gestatio is to be pregnant, to hold the baby. Gesture, to hold the baby. Iacere projectus is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is immediately moment of project, projectio, something. Well, okay. Generally, we can say all this differently. I mentioned this geometry between conception, catch, and project through. We can say that the second conception, you have this in. Well, I have to mention this in Talmud idea that we have hit and miss. This is only 2 strategies, hit and miss, not third. Conject because concept, inject, very good word to destroy Aureli. Because city is not the project, city is conject. Why? Because in the city we have many concepts, many projections. When you are, for example, when you are built something, when you see immediately in Shanghai, in part of the Shanghai, many conject, many concepts, many projects, and you put put something in. Okay, this is now you will start here. Well, I don't know what is the problem is how to because this is your job, this is not my job now. It's very good for me to try to criticize, thematize Westian origin of words, I don't know, because I'm in between many languages, but here I have friends here they try to help me, but okay, this is verified with several people, philosophers. Well, I can give you, of course, or you will have this presentation and you will check this. No, it's interesting, you know, connection between Japanese, it's interesting connection with heart, not mind. This is different. Immediately we can, you know, if we accept the position of architect position of philosopher to compare, well, I'm okay. My position is in between the languages. I'm not Heidegger. I don't want to be in one language or in two eventually, in Greek and this one. But, well, okay, that's it. Where is the problem here? This knife or this arm, you Chinese, you can see the arm and knife in this word. How to differentiate aggression of project? Because generally project is aggressive. Because project aggressive, but which kind of aggressiveness? Well, I read in last several months, I read in English and then tried to understand with the other people many military strategic texts, and I tried to understand how you know, you are manipulating with attributes, you are manipulating with quantity. Well, I found that quantity is much more important than quality, and then in concept you have quantity. I can say that Philip is a very ambitious guy, and Patrik also, but this is not enough. Well, you in your language, I think you are manipulating with quantity, and that's why we sometimes can't understand, and it's very difficult to how to say. I can understand, but I can't repeat or something like this. I can't use it. What you well, the problem here is how which kind of aggressiveness we have in project to exclude the others, and why project could be important for us. Okay, this is maybe good, maybe not. Well, what does it mean, architectural act? Architectural act, for example, how to differentiate platform, program, plan, and project. We have a mess in architects' texts. It's very, you know, in continental philosophy we have also mess, because each philosopher invents his terminology, etc., etc. You have Agamben's terminology, Derrida's terminology, etc. But in analytic philosophy, it's much more simple. For us, I think we need somebody from, it will not be philosopher, but architect who will try to describe what does it mean architectural act. Where is the place of platform? Where is the plan? Where is the project? Where is the gesture? Where is the design? Where is the disegno? Which difference between design and disegno, draw, etc. This is, I think, the task. And well, at the end, when I said conject, where is the position of conject in this imaginary, ideal architectural act? Well, that's it. How to reconstruct all the steps in a work of, in a Patrik's work. Because he tried all the time, that's why he wrote, he tried all the time to understand Zaha Hadid's act. Well, this is, now we have one, at the end of architecture, now we have one guy who has capability to understand himself, and that's the new. You know, if you follow Eisenman's lecture, still, you know, he's still active. His idea is to check on to mention the precedents, the origin of each architectural moment, material moment. Well, that is archaeology of architectural materialization. This is Eisenman. Here we have, I think this is a thematization of epistemological act. This is, well, problem of architects, why they are not reading architects. Forget philosophers, but architects. And, well, I think this is, that could be a task. Well, I tried to argue for this word. I think it's, that conject is and, generally, conjunction is and I think that and is much more important than or, and I think that and is strictly in architectural, engagement or commitment, and I think that this and is strict in China, in Chinese. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
A little short, but very deep understanding of some keywords here is putting forward the concept, project, and goes to the conject. I think it's 3 words from the very conceptual, the individual and the subjectivity, where is the concept coming from, and also the concept is kinds of autonomous ways to define the individual. Where is your mind coming from? Yeah, he mentioned also the heart and mind. In Chinese, heart and mind is different. It's really different. The mind is not about the mindness, it's about the thinking, and also the autonomous mind is maybe not from heart, but from your mind. So I think from my understanding, maybe I should invite Patrik to analyze this conjecture, because conjecture is more about the predict and from some like collective intelligence to predict or to say something in the future. It's conjecture, but the conject is something like throw together. It's maybe from different individuals, put them together and throw some different decision of mind to the forward, maybe something together. So that is the conjecture coming from. So it's very philosophy addressed. So maybe next I would like Patrik to analyze this very fundamental keywords. What is and, what is conjecture, what is the difference between the concept project and the Conject. So welcome, Patrik. Some feedback first.
Of course. Yeah, no, this is not my lecture yet. Although I could bring out a lecture which relates closely to this. Yeah, it's fascinating, Petar. Thank you for your provocations and reflections. So I do find it quite original, and I think that's the role of philosophy, to challenge us with new concepts, the creation of concept, like Deleuze reflected what philosophy is, and it was very productive for architecture, particularly in phases of transition, where one form of architecture ends, for instance, modernism in the 70s, and something else has to be born. That's when the philosophers join the field, and to help us brainstorm and go to the first principles, to start again, the new beginning after the end. And that's where we need philosophers. And so that's what, when I was a student, I was in the 80s, that's precisely what happened when architecture absorbed the work of the post-structuralists. There's also a revolution in thinking, and somebody like Peter Eisenman brought Jacques Derrida into architecture to collaborate, Bernard Tschumi also with Derrida, and then a very strong connection with Deleuze. So I think that's very important, and I like the triad of, I think it's interesting, concept, project, where you project forward, where you sometimes project into the unknown, and then the idea of conject and conjecture. It's interesting where you say that the city, when projects intersect and come together, there's something maybe nobody has conceived or projected. It's a kind of collective outcome. And but I would say on that one, the throwing together, I can feel the reminiscences of the period of deconstructivism, where we had actually in modernism, the idea was the city is also just a plan. It's just a project. You have Le Corbusier drawing up the city, for 1 million inhabitants, and Hilbersheimer drawing up the city, but Le Corbusier went so far as to draw up the whole built environment of Europe. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this project. It's basically these kind of linear cities banding across Europe. So this vision was broken when modernism and the idea of planning a whole society was broken. And you had the revolutions, the counter-revolution, if you like, against the planned society. And you actually also had it in China, you had it in Russia, you had it in Europe. And that was the period of deconstruction, where the idea was the city is just many projects coming together, and I think there is a thesis, the city is a project, the antithesis, the city is just a conject, a confluence, an agglomeration, but I want to do the synthesis. So we have thesis, antithesis, my synthesis. Yes, I do have a position, which is this stage where we can think of the city of just being thrown together is, we have to overcome that and have a new way of bottom-up, intelligent, inter-articulation and self-organization, but through intelligent individual interventions, which are super sensitive to their context. They do something novel, but not random, not arbitrary. We have the capacity to do that now with parametricism and tectonism. So that's my synthesis for a new stage of architecture. But I think it's very healthy to go back to first principles at moment of crisis and go into the etymology of words. It's very interesting to watch what are the origins of certain notions we are familiar with. A deep kind of anthropological origin. That's Heidegger started this into philosophy. And I think that's very fruitful. And also to then realize, then you translate a set of concepts into another language to see the roots of the translated words. There's another depth and another set of principles, because as a philosopher we've understood all concepts, the way language grows through analogy, metaphor, analogy, you expand meanings. And these are not arbitrary. Which word you're confronted with something new. Which of your repertoire of words are you using to describe this? Which of the words is now expanding to absorb and inject the new phenomena? If you had used the different words, it comes with different connections. You see different things. So choosing words means you see things, but you also are blind to others who use another word. So I think that's very deep and very important. And I think that's the difference between architectural theory and architectural philosophy. And I think I have to think about it. I don't have my answer. Is my work more architectural philosophy or my architectural theory? But there is a stage when you made the fundamental choices of how to absorb new phenomena, how to react, how to reposition. After the philosophical moment, after the brainstorming, there is the elaboration, the cumulative making it work. And that's when it's more theory, science, theory-led practice. So you cannot do a new philosophy every 10 years. There's moments of philosophy. The 1920s was a moment of philosophy. The 1980s was a moment of philosophy. I don't know when the next moment of philosophy is. But I think we'll probably, that's something we can't predict. That's my comment.